just want to, first of all, thank you, Councilor Maravito, for bringing the Elder Affairs Subcommittee to our attention and bringing the issues that we have and learning about what the senior center is all about to the forefront. So I do appreciate you initiating that. I also thank the committee for being here tonight and listening to us. I also want to recognize a number of seniors that did come out here tonight that are in the audience. And there's too many to name, but they are very in full support of the senior center and all the activities that happen there. And I know there's a number of them at home watching on TV that are just not mobile enough to get in here. So I just want to thank them for watching. You know, it's funny, I wanted to come in here with a structured presentation, and I said, forget it, I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to speak to you from my heart. I have some statistics, and I just want to kind of give a little bit of a summary of what the senior center is about, what we're trying to do, and because I'm in the second phase of working on my formula grant for FY 2015, I had to do a lot of research on the statistics involved for reporting for this grant. So it was perfect timing because I have a lot of statistics to share with you on how we service the senior population here in Revere. Is that working now? Wow, great. That's great. Okay, so first of all, a quick synopsis of what the Senior Center is all about. We develop and maintain a number of meals programs, health programs, recreation and social activities and services. We plan and create policies, and all of this is beneficial to the health, safety, and education of the 60-plus senior population. According to the last census in 2010, the number 10,194 is the number of seniors based in Revere, based on the last census. That number is important because when I apply for the formula grant, that's the number they use to calculate how much we're going to get, because there's an incremental number that they use to multiply per senior times that number, and that's where we get the majority of our funding through the state formula grant. We do produce a newsletter every month. I'll talk about that a little bit later, but basically that provides timely and educational and program and activities information a month ahead of time for seniors that come to the Senior Center. So they know what the menu is, they know what the activities are, when they're scheduled. I write a little letter to our Senior Power subscribers, although they're not paid subscribers, and I try to highlight certain things that are happening at the Senior Center and things that I feel are important to them. The other thing is that what we do at the Senior Center is we maintain a budget that's required by the Mass Council on Aging. This subsidizes most of our funding. We get most of our funding from the state based on the formula grant that is submitted. The other monies that we get from the city are basically salaries and a very small operating budget. The other thing that I want to make sure that you all understand is that this facility should be a safe, secure, and inviting place for our senior population. And I think in the last year, at least since I've been there, we've expanded on that. I've harped on the fact that we want to make this a welcoming and inviting place. And last year at this time, we had 3 open houses, which proved to be a very good catalyst for making that well known throughout the community. So let me just share with you a couple of things. In Revere, we have 11 people on the staff at the Senior Center. Okay, 5 of them are full-time, although there's only 4 of us that have been working for a year, because I have one person that's been on a medical leave for almost a year, since October. We have 7 part-time, 20-hour-per-week contractual people in addition to the full-time staffers. Most of these people are over 70 years old, and they work very hard, and they work very limited hours. So when I share with you the statistics that you'll hear, you're going to say, it's amazing what gets done at the Senior Center. And these stats that I'm going to give you are for the last year, okay? So basically, here they are. In fiscal year 2014, from July 1st of 2013 through this past June, we served 11,235 meals. We average about 219 meals a week. These meals are cooked in-house. Not many senior centers out there cook in-house. They have a caterer brought in, and all they do is heat up the food. We have served in the last year approximately 2,300 individuals, and these are unique individuals. They're not duplicates. Approximately 1,682 are men, 1,682 are women, and 561 are men. We have reached out through the telephone or received calls into the Senior Center for 6,500 inquiries. That's a lot. And we have 3 people in the office. If you've been down to the Senior Center, you know we have Lois, we have Marisa, and we had Joe Picardi, but now we have another person, Anna Maria, and they answer the phones. So that's a lot of phone calls for 3 people to answer. And I myself include myself in there because we're a team, and we just pick up where we have to, okay? Now, you know we got a new used shuttle from the East Boston Neighborhood Health Center last November. And I applied for a grant to get another one through MassDOT, and we will be getting it in February. So we were awarded another shuttle. I don't have a requisition for a driver for it yet, but we'll deal with that later. But in the fiscal year 2014, we provided rides for 9,316 people. That's a hell of a lot of people. When you consider that that van is on the road and goes about 235 miles per fill-up each week, and sometimes we have to fill it up twice, and it only seats 9 people. Okay, it only seats 9 people. Our newsletter that reaches seniors, I print 18,000 newsletters in a year. We probably distribute approximately 1,500, and it goes out to a lot of the different retail stores, comes to City Hall, you get them as counselors, and it's distributed through the mail upon request. Eventually, I would like to send that electronically as well. We just don't have the resources at this time. Health screenings. And Carol Donovan, our city nurse, comes down twice a month for health screenings. In the past fiscal year, she checked blood pressure for 528 people. Not a very impressive number, but when you consider it's only twice a month, it does stand out. We have a Shine volunteer that comes every week. She's provided to us by the Mystic Valley Elder Service Plan. In the past year, and this statistic is from them because they keep track of how many people she sees and she assists, she has seen 391 people. If you don't know what SHINE means, or what that acronym stands for, I should say, it stands for Serving the Health Information Needs of Elders. And there's a lot of elders that need help. I wish we had 3 SHINE people because that's how many requests we get on a regular basis. Now, we have a lot of exercise programs at the Senior Center and fitness exercises. We have Tai Chi, we have Chi Ball, we have Zumba Gold with line dancing, we have Zumba Toning, which is a fee-based program. I'll get to that later. And we have geriatrics exercise. In the last year, 1,598 individuals participated in these exercise classes. There may be some duplication there, but those are the numbers. Lois Diamond teaches a very basic computer course. In the last fiscal year, she was able to teach 200 seniors how to use basic computer skills. That's pretty impressive. We have a number of recreation and socialization programs, different activities. Our bowling league has 40 participants. Our bocce league has 40 participants. Our knitting group is between 35 and 40 people that meet weekly. We have canvas making, ceramics, computer, watercolor and art classes, bingo. And we did have an iPad program in place, but unfortunately, we'll have to roll that out later this fall rather. The number of people that participated in these recreation and social activities, 6,263 individuals. And there may be more than one person participating in more than one activity. Those are pretty impressive numbers with such a small staff. And I'm very proud of the staff that we have. We have a very caring, compassionate staff. I've been to many other senior centers since I started. I've visited a number of them on the South Shore and all of those in the adjacent communities around us. They run their senior center with a large group of volunteers. Winthrop has over 100 volunteers. They call them the Friends of the Winthrop Council on Aging. Saugus has almost 200 volunteers. In Revere, we've never even tried to have a volunteer group, and that's something that I've tried to do over the last year, and we are accumulating a number of volunteers. Just last week, Lois Diamond, I'll give her all the credit. She ran a very successful flea market that took 3 months to put together. She had over 40 volunteers, and she's going to speak about that after I'm done. But that's pretty impressive. So one of the goals next year, or within this year, is to create a friends group or a senior group. Those people who will volunteer, help do fundraising, help promote the senior center, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm really looking forward to that as well. One of the things that I noticed when I started was there was competing tour groups and trip groups within the city of Revere, and also competing with our neighbors, Winthrop, Everett, Chelsea, and even Somerville. So I called together all the directors and their trip coordinators. We met over a period of 3 or 4 months just to basically brainstorm, and we came up to create a consortium called Trips for All. And the reason we did this is because there had been too many cancellations. There had been trips that were scheduled on the same day from different places. So as a result of that, there were a number of cancellations. So we're kind of in the second phase now, and we're trying to include in Revere the Senior Center, the Patriot Civic Club, the Women's Group, and the, I'm missing one group. I had a brain thing here. There's one other group in Revere, I can't even remember the name of it. Somerville, COA, Winthrop COA, and a group from Burlington. So we're in the process of developing a marketplace event down at Suffolk Downs, where we'll invite other senior centers, and we'll bring in all kinds of vendors from the airlines, from the tour industries, to come together to help promote trips and to offer better one-day trips. So that's the kind of thing that we do. What kind of services do we provide? We provide the monthly newsletter, The Shine. We refer a lot of people to CRW, who is our state access point for all state-related information. We have recently opened up the Senior Center to the community. And we have opened up our Senior Center to Generations, Inc. They use the facility. East Boston Neighborhood Health Center and their art association, as well as some of their medical personnel. We have had neighborhood developers do some tax preparation, mostly at the library, but they have come down and gave a number of presentations as well. Just last week, the Revere Chamber of Commerce started a business blogging educational series, and they used our facility, and they will continue to do so over the next year. And also, Suffolk Downs has been down even prior to the casino being talked about and voted on. So one of the things I want to stress is that we look to be immersed in the community and to reach out to all ages in the community, not just seniors, because I feel that will draw seniors through doing that. And an example of that is the Zumba toning class on Wednesday night. We average approximately 30 people every Wednesday. It's open to all ages, and it's been a phenomenal success. I didn't have funding for that, so I had to think of a creative way to fund that. So with dealing with the instructor, they agreed to charge a fee-based instructional fee. People come in, they pay $5 a class, which is very cheap, and people have a great time. So that is working out very, very well. Excuse me. I just want to talk about some improvements that we've done this year. You've probably seen them in the paper. We've had 3 new handicapped accessible toilets brought in. We have new office furniture for the staff that was donated and badly needed. We had a rear porch reconstructed. We've had administrative office floor. The floor's been redone over with vinyl tile. We've brought in all the watercolors that the Art Association within the Senior Center have done themselves, so we have on display all the seniors' artwork. And we have a new flat screen TV and TV mounting. And we hope to get an awning for the outside rear entrance. Unfortunately, the tornado did some massive damage on our roof. We have 4 air conditioning heating units that were on the roof. 2 of them blew 40 feet in the air, weighing 1.5 tons into the house next door, crashed against the house, and totaled 3 cars. So we're waiting, I guess, on the city's insurance to kick in and to see what the estimate is. I've got a proposal for the HVAC company to come and do it, but I have to wait to see how the insurance would cover it. And I'm really nervous about that because now it's September. We have 2 huge vents that are broken up, but they're all open. They're covered right now. But if the wind and the rain start coming, and water and or snow starts coming, we're going to be in trouble because those vents are exposed, other than with the lining that's on there. So I'm hoping that that will be resolved before all that happens. The other thing I just wanted to mention is that I know that when I've spoken to different counselors, you all offer your support, and I continue to ask for that. The best way to support it is to promote the senior center, advocate. We need more staff. I have some needs that we have. And right now, we are very limited in our staff. And given those statistics, I really feel blessed to have the staff that I do because they are very dedicated. I need a full-time trips coordinator / office coordinator. I really do. We don't have the budget for that. I really need that. Unfortunately, I lost a person last October, which meant that my maintenance man has been driving for a year. And currently, I have 2 part-time people. And it's just not enough, given all the activities. And so if you were to come down there, it looks pretty good considering the help that we had. Even myself and the staff, we go around emptying their baskets, cleaning the bathrooms, cleaning the floors, because we just don't have enough help to do that. That's another reason to start the volunteer group, to see how people become more dedicated to the senior center through that. And like I said, we want to develop a Friends volunteer group. And one of the things we also want to do is increase programs. And I think the way I have to go is a fee-based type system like we're doing with the Zumba toning, because our budget doesn't warrant us to spend any money, so the way it's situated. So we're working on that, and I think that'll work pretty good. Our facility has a couple of immediate needs. Our front ramp, and we get more and more people with walkers and canes. The front ramp, I mean, it's almost 17 years old now, that building, and I know there was a lot of work put into the interior, but the exterior is really dangerous and faulty. I'm not going to talk about the roof and the water leaks, but just for the people to walk in off that shuttle and walk up that ramp, there's cracks in the concrete. The concrete that was poured years ago when Councilor House was mayor, it's all starting to split because of weatherization and that kind of thing. So we really need to get that repaired as well. And again, we need an awning over the rear porch. When the weather starts getting really bad, the rain just comes in buckets, and it's very slippery out there. And a lot of people use the small parking lot we have in the back. So when they come in, it can be very dangerous, particularly if it changes to ice. What we would need through funding, if anything happened in the near future, we would like to construct. I would love to have a new one-level senior center like Winthrop, like Saugus, like Duxbury, like Plymouth. I mean, those facilities are so accessible and much more conducive to creating a better program and services. I would like to strengthen our program services and activities in the areas of health and nutrition, and we can do that now, and we're working on that. I would love to hire additional instructors in specialized areas, and we're working heavily with East Boston Neighborhood Health to do that. And I would like, as a result of this new van that will be awarded to us, I believe, January or February, to be able to increase the transportation. And I forgot to mention, our senior center participation, the number of participants has increased 70% in the last year. And our and that could be a little bit duplicated for people that come into lunch and come in to use the facility via the van. But now we're seeing an increased need for bringing people to Stop and Shop or Market Basket if it gets here, the banks, the pharmacies, doctor's appointments, and that's increasing more and more. As you know, the senior demographics is a little bit different than it was in yesteryear. Most of the people that we service now are 75 plus, which is a great thing. They're young at heart. They're wonderful people. They give so much. But in order to attract the younger seniors, we have to have all these new things happen. And, I know a lot of them are working longer. They're babysitting. There's a lot of different reasons. So I'm about done here. But what I would like to do is invite Lois Diamond up, because, like I said, she ran this flea market that just, I have to say, we had about 250 people come in the first day and about 100 the next day. And the amount of work they did in accumulating donated goods, sorting through them, washing them, cleaning them, itemizing them for pricing, separating them, and then displaying them and cleaning up. It was an amazing thing, and they raised quite a bit of money. So, again, I thank you for letting me come up here. I kind of took two pieces of the agenda, my presentation, the overall summary, and kind of combined them a little bit, and some of the enhancements that we made over the year in our future goals. What I would like to do is have Lois speak, if I can. Okay. Okay, you want to do that instead of have Lois come up? Okay. Okay. I just want to reiterate that Lois has some very important information to provide, so I don't want her to be shut out, if you don't mind. Thank you.
To the honorable members of the Revere City Council, I'd like to introduce myself for people that don't know me. My name is Lois Diamond, and I'm very fortunate to be in my 15th year as working at the Elder Affairs. I would just like to say that I, along with so many that are gathered here this evening, am a witness to the up and coming changes that have taken place this past year with the leadership of our new director, Stephen Fielding. It is with great pleasure to work in a truly welcoming environment in our office that has many visible improvements that have been made with no cost to our center. Our office staff has changed for the better. We are truly fortunate to have a Marissa Curielli as our office manager. We are fortunate because Marissa goes above and beyond for all of us. With my limitations of walking lately, Marissa is always willing to take on many roles. Marissa has even been known to perform kitchen duties and on countless times has swept our main dining area. Our daily participants are constantly growing as we have many from neighboring Chelsea who are now enjoying our lunch program. We are short-staffed. We do need a full-time maintenance man, as our former maintenance man is driving our local senior shuttle, as our regular shuttle driver has been out since October of 2013. In the meantime, we have been fortunate to have Salvatore Curielli as our part-time maintenance backup shuttle driver. Whenever Jim Carlton, who is the driver, is on vacation or is out sick, Sal has kept our shuttle service going, providing transportation to our center without interruptions. During the past few months, both Jim and Sal offer such kindness to the seniors, and this is why we value our staff. And also, as you can see, that we will need more staff to handle upcoming needs. Through the work of Stephen Fielding and Debbie West from the Mayor's office, we were awarded a MassDOT grant for a second shuttle in January of 2015, which means a definite need for additional shuttle driver. This will enhance our services for our seniors. We are truly trying to offer new ideas. We had the first time ever health fair, our very first, thanks to the direction of Stephen. It was very successful, and we will make this an annual event with various vendors offering their services to our seniors. We, through Stephen's concern of keeping the seniors up to date on the new age of iPads, and with his connection to meetings with the ETF programs at our high school students, will be teaching our seniors to learn the iPad program. It is so wonderful to see, as this will be an intergenerational program, and it will be one of many that we're hoping to create. Yes, we are moving forth in many ways as Stephen is making Elder Affairs known to all in the community. And we welcome the business community to help us support our center, as it will be a win-win for the local businesses and our senior center. And to help us support one another is the future goals of servicing all in our community. For those of you who were unable to attend this past Thursday and Friday, the Senior Center held a flea market bake sale with so many in attendance. It was truly so rewarding for us to work at our center to have seen the wonderful collaboration from the various wonderful groups like the Women's Club and the Patriot Seniors, and so many of the seniors from our senior center who truly came together to make this event a great success. For me, on a personal note, I really enjoy my job, and especially now as I look forward to continue working with the great staff of workers and volunteers at the Senior Center. Thank you all for your time.
Phenomenal job.
Thank you.
Excellent job. Are there any members on the Council on Elder Affairs who would like to come up and speak? No? Nick? You can just state your name.
Good afternoon, everybody. I happen to be the president of the Elderly Affairs, and I'm very, very lucky to be the president. I don't put in that much time at the Senior Center, only because my wife is a good cook, so I have to eat at home. But other than that, we do bowling, we do bocce. We really keep involved with the Senior Center, and they are good. And Steve, the president, does a great job. He really, really does. We're so lucky to have Steve. Thank you, Steve. Really. There isn't too much more I can tell you, but I'm willing to help in any way. Thank you.
By a show of hands, can I see if anyone else wants to speak?
Oh, it'll just take a few minutes. My name is Walter Pfeiffer, and I'm a participant in the Revere Senior Center. It's in the very capable hands of Steve and his staff. They're wonderful. Everything's going well. Inside, no complaints. What I'd like to have done, though, is outside the building, the access road and the parking lot in the back needs to be resurfaced badly. I think I mentioned this a couple of years ago when Al was director, but nothing was ever done. That should be done, because in accordance with the mayor's beautification of Revere, the city property should be maintained in absolute perfection.
Was that the same outside of here? Is that what you were speaking about?
No, I was not. He's specifically speaking about the side entrance, which is
The access road,
driveway that gets into the driveway.
that has to be resurfaced, and the back has to be resurfaced, and the trash around the building is beginning to look like a city dump. It's a lot of trash there. The PDW, Department of Public Works, should be getting down there with a truck and some of the prisoners and clean that mess up. Everything else inside the building and the programs that Steve mentioned works wonderfully. It's a very good senior center. Okay?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Vin Camerata, 624 Malden Street, Revere, Massachusetts. I think Steve and the people that spoke after him, I think they said it the right way. They knew what they were talking about, so I wish you people would listen to them and do what they want. My only message is about Steve. I've known Steve for a long time. Steve is a good person. He works for St. Mary's Church, St. Mary's Holy Name Society, and he's one of the best people that work down at the church for us. I think he deserves a little attention and a little of something what he'd like to do to make a better senior citizen center. Thank you, Steve.
The reason I called this meeting tonight was to shed light on the seniors and the senior center. They're basically the foundation of our city. And with that in mind, what I'm going to ask Steve to do is to compile a list of items, reasonable items that are necessary to be fixed, and what we'll do is submit them to Ashley, and then Ashley will submit them to the mayor. Yeah. Yeah, we'll put it on. We'll put it on file. What was that? Yeah, that's what, you can make a recommendation to bring it up to the city council. So that's what we'll do. Morris, do you want to speak? Okay.
Thank you for letting me come up here. How do you work? Is it on? Yep. First of all, being a senior, I enjoy the senior center. I've been coming there for about 35, 40 years. And it gives us a great time for the elders. We have people that are over 100 years old that come there. And if it wasn't for the senior center, a lot of us wouldn't even be here speaking to you today, because it gives us an activity there that we enjoy. We have music, we have movies. And I think what I would like to see is Revere TV, which I happen to be a volunteer for Revere TV. They do a lot for the senior center. And I would like to see whatever we do is put on TV on the scrolls. Not on my show, not on Revere's TV show, but everything on the scroll, so it's there day after day, week after week, month after month. So the people who see it would come to our senior center and build up a great following. And for that, I thank you.
One more minute before we start the question and answer from the subcommittee members. Does anyone else want to speak in the audience? Any subcommittee members want to speak first? Have any questions? Brian? Councilor Rigo? Constantino?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just think this was a really great idea, and the mics are working now.
Yes,
mine's working.
No?
This was a really we're good. This is a really great idea, Mr. Chairman, and I'm really happy to see everyone here. I think it shows how well you guys are doing just by the support that's here to represent your director, and you guys are working really hard and doing a fantastic job. And I think it's really nice to shed some light on this and let people at home know all of the programs that we have to offer and that it is a resource, because if there are 10,000 in the city of Revere, we want to see all of them at least stopping by to check it out. And those open houses you had last year were fantastic. So events like that, I think, are really helping. And I hope that we can help you. And I'd love to see that list. So hopefully we can get it moving, because it's something that needs to be done. I know a few months back, I put in a motion in about the sidewalks around the senior center, because I know that was an issue. A lot of people have contacted me about that. So hopefully it can all be wrapped into one package and we can get you guys what you need. So thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Janino. Councilor John Powers.
I can speak loud. Stephen, correct me if I'm wrong, I heard you mention something earlier when I came in. Repairs that needed to be done, and we're waiting to get approval for monies for insurance.
Yeah, one of the things that I did, as soon as the destruction happened and I had the HVAC company come in, several days later they came and gave me an estimate to replace and or repair what was lost. I got that fairly quickly. It was submitted to Superintendent Goodwin, which I was told to do by the mayor. And the last update I had was that the city, as a result of having all the property insurance coverage, were accumulating what the estimates were from those companies, from the adjusters that came. So I'm kind of on hold waiting for that to happen, and then I can move forward or go with whatever they determine.
Well, the reason I brought that up is because I believe the last meeting, City Council authorized, correct me if I'm wrong, council authorized the mayor to spend monies that were not appropriated but were related to the strong anticipation of money that we received either through grants or insurance. Is that correct?
That's correct. No, I was not. I was away last week, so I didn't catch the meeting, so.
Yes, at the last meeting, the city council did approve the expenditure of monies in anticipation of either insurance proceeds or any type of aid that we may receive from the state or the federal government. However, what we're in the process of doing, because we have to now, it's odd, the tornado hit and then we were in emergency situations just to bring everything to a safe level, and then all of a sudden we had we were able to then, with the construction and of the boarding up of the buildings, and what happened is now is that we have to go out and get a project manager, and that project manager is, once we go out to bid for that and or an RFP for that, then we have to bring on we have to find out exactly what the specifications are for the construction, the reconstruction and remodeling of these different areas, and what needs to be done. And once those specs are then put out, we have to, so it's got a timely basis, and that's what's holding it up. Yeah. You did authorize me to do that, but once that form is all in place, because what the state does is, yes, during the tornado and the emergency service, again, it's to secure, and then once we secure, then we have to follow 30B again. So that's what the holdup is, Council. Right. Right. Okay. Yes, Council. Thank you.
Councilor Haas?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Back 17 years ago when I was mayor, we had a problem with a number of the senior locations. Their ranks were diminishing, so we come up with a concept to basically house them all at the old Knights of Columbus building. And the city council approved the acquisition, and I'll tell you, from when I've been down there, it looks absolutely tremendous, especially, I'm serious, under Steve's leadership. He has created so much activity in there, drawing in seniors, and it's really worked out well. And, I'd like to congratulate Steve publicly for a job well done. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. Councilor Novoselsky?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, thank you for allowing me to speak in your committee. I do want to apologize to everyone for being late, but things happen sometime. But I can attest of all the good things that have been said about Steve, and not taking away from anybody that was prior to Steve. But, the building had been in disrepair, and I had always stated to the previous mayor that, the building needed some work. And I am proud to say that, and I'm glad to say that Mayor Rizzo stepped up. As soon as he came in and Steve came on board, the place started to shape up. A lot of the mildew and all the wet walls that were in there were repaired, and the place is really starting to look pretty good. And I'm sorry I missed your presentation, Steve, but I know everybody does a great job down there. Everybody loves going down there, and I know your numbers are increasing. But I don't know if you mentioned about this MBTA Senior ID program.
I was trying to give more statistical information on participation, and I didn't mention that specific one, but
Okay.
You initiated that, so go right ahead.
Thank you very much. And last October, I took the initiative of contacting the MassDOT about MBTA Senior ID program. And I know that a lot of our seniors cannot make it into Boston. And I talked to Steve, and we put the program together with the help of Karen DeSpirito from MassDOT, who is now working for the MBTA directly. And she came in, and we taught Steve and his interns how to do the program. So now everybody in the city can get MBTA senior IDs in Revere. And I think it's important for, knowing that not everybody is ambulatory to get into Boston. And I believe we've had over 200 senior IDs that have been given out approximately.
Approximately, yeah. We had 2 sessions. The first
Right.
session, we reached almost 80. The second session was almost 90 people.
Right.
And we split them up 6 months apart. And as you recommended, and which we hope to do this year, is not to just to have it at the senior center, but go to like Liston Towers, Hyman Towers, Jack Satter House. So, it's just a matter of getting some volunteers to train and to go off-site
Right.
to do it.
Yeah, and I'm proud of that. And being a senior myself, I didn't have one, but it's not that I couldn't make it into Boston because of my health, but finding the time to go in. Now, even though you can't transfer your monies from your old MBTA ID to your new one directly with us, that's something that somebody would have to go into Boston for, to transfer whatever monies are on there. But, in most cases, they're probably short dollars, and it would be up to the person to go in and do it. But I'm glad we moved the disability folks down to your location. I think it's more appropriate, even though it's difficult and we don't have anybody to be there now. But I think in the long run it'll be good for everybody. But the building's a marvel, and may I say, Mr. Chairman, that it's named after Rossetti Cowan, and that's Helen Cowan and Joe Rossetti, whose names were in each of the senior centers from different locations around the city, and we combined them. And I hope, and I will fight hard to make sure that it stays the Rossetti Senior Center. If we want to put somebody else's name in there, we can name a room for them, the hall for them, but I think the building should stay the same. It's the name, that's where it started, and that's where it should stay. So, Steve?
On that note, I just wanted to let you know that the family of Joseph Rossetti, his nieces and great-nieces and nephews, came to the senior center this past week, and they brought a framed military service certification of Joseph Rossetti. And, it's funny. I said I'll put it right beside his picture out in the hall. And when I put those 2 pictures of Joseph Rossetti and Helen Cowan up, nobody knew who they were. So we had a contest to see who they were. But now people do know who they are, and it is appropriate that we retain the name. I think, for lack of, there's a functional title for the center, which is that, and then there's, people say, the Senior Center or Revere Senior Center. But it is the Rossetti Cowan Senior Center.
And may I say, just a little history. Back when it was done, when Joe and Helen both passed, the Revere Lions Club were the ones that had the portraits painted. And being a little biased, I was the one on the Lions Club that made that happen. And we had the portraits made of them and had it hung at each location. And now it's where they are together. And they were a couple. They're not an official couple, but they were a couple. And I think it's appropriate, and it should stay the same. And I wish you good luck, and I wish everybody good luck, and get more people to come down and have lunch. I enjoy going down there. So thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Council. Councilor Guinasso.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I certainly want to publicly acknowledge the fine accomplishments by Steve Fielding and his staff and what he's done over the past year or so. And in his half-an-hour presentation that he offered out earlier this afternoon, it gives you an insight that and research and tells us all what's actually taken place at the Senior Center, and certainly it reminds us all that what a beneficial place that is for our seniors, and to welcome new members is always the foundation of any good project. So we certainly will go out and be mercenaries and try to spread the word as best we could to our seniors who sometimes are reluctant to go to a place where there are other seniors, and they know sometimes they say that it's cliquey, it's this, it's that. But I don't see that at the Revere Senior Center, and I think it's a wonderful opportunity for people in their elder stage of their life to enjoy a quality of life that we all want for them. So through your guidance and through the membership of your staff and all the people who attend, It's just a wonderful place to be, and we should, in Revere, are all proud of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. Mr. Fielden, can you just step to the podium and address some of the, I know a lot of the needs you mentioned were materialistic. Can you, any donated services that people that are watching can provide?
Well, I had reached out for some furniture for the office, which was badly needed. And to be honest with you, what we really need now, if there is a business out there, if the one thing is that I need, is I need 96 new chairs for the dining room. The tables are fine. I don't know how old the dining room furniture is. It's probably as old as the center. But when something goes, like a chair goes, because it's pressed wood, you can only put so many screws in it. It just keeps expanding, and then finally somebody's going to get hurt because they... So I need 96 new chairs for the dining hall, and that would be tremendous if we could get that. That's my most immediate need as far as furniture goes.
So, is there any other donated services out there? Anything you want to get out to the people watching today?
Well, you know,
because I want to use this as a platform to get your word out.
For fundraising purposes, you know, when we have a monthly luncheon every month. We usually have 100 people in attendance. We always need businesses to donate to our raffles. We raise a lot of money through these raffles, whether they be gift certificates for a number of different types of establishments. That helps every month. And also, that money helps pay for the entertainment that we have. One of the things I've tried to do in the last 12 months is have quality entertainment. And it's a negotiation process to get these people to come down to the affordability that we can muster. So I think that would be helpful if we had more quality raffle items like gift certificates or whatever. So, and I know we're kind of pressed for time, but
yeah, Councilor Batch.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just one quick question, Stephen. If somebody wanted to make a contribution to the senior center, who would they make the check out to?
The Rossetti Cowan Senior Center.
Okay. I just wanted to get that out there. I just wanted that.
One point of information, there was a senior that came, I didn't know her. She came to the senior center for years and years and years. She passed away. And I was contacted by a local attorney in March. And the lady had designated organizations where she left some of her money. She left $10,000 to the senior center. So that's something that if somebody wants to do that, or if they know a way in which they, instead of donating to another organization, we can certainly use it. Okay.
Thank you again. I want to thank the staff, the office people, the people in the kitchen at the senior center, those on the elders commission. We really need someone to put the light on our senior citizens, and that is what you do, and for that I applaud you. You guys are the real stars out there, the everyday person who sits there and fights for the seniors. That's who all of you are. And everything that was said tonight will be reported to the council as a whole at 6 p.m. at our next meeting in a few minutes. Thank you for coming.